have some gymnastics action here inside Carver Hawkeye Arena. The Iowa Hawkeyes are hosting Air Force and Ball State. I'm Ben Collin here with Ryan Ruckadashel on BTN+. Now, Ryan, what are you looking forward to most as we get ready for this evening's action?
Absolutely. Just three special teams, three amazing teams doing some great gymnastics. And tonight, all three teams, Air Force, Ball State, and Iowa Gymnastics, they are flipping for a cause. So obviously bringing awareness to breast cancer. The environment is extra special tonight. Everyone is pinked out. It's great to see.
That's awesome. The crowd very pink, like you mentioned. All of the teams wearing pink, the staff wearing pink. It's a fantastic atmosphere inside Carver Hawkeye Arena. The Hawkeyes, this is their second time out, but for Air Force and Ball State, this is the first time they're competing this year. Is that going to have any impact on what we're going to see today?
Absolutely. Iowa obviously has one under the belt for Air Force and Ball State. This will be exciting for them to get in front of a crowd again. The 2020 season is really young. And so I know all teams are actually giddy to be back in front of a crowd. For Iowa Gymnastics, especially the first time in front of a home crowd. So it'll be really interesting to see how they do in front of Iowa City fans.
Now we'll start off. Ball State will be on floor to open. The Hawkeyes will be on vault. And Air Force will be on bars as and now, first on vault, that's Alex Greenwald for the Hawkeyes.
Really good vault for Alex. Alex scored a 9.9 last year on vault. That is her career high, and that was a great vault. Tiny, tiny hop.
The sophomore from Coral Springs, Florida. Now Ball State.
Floor is a fun event to start on. Athletes have a lot of energy coming into the meet, so putting that into the tumbling passes helps a little bit. However, that does mean they will have to enter the balance beam.
And that makes things a little bit trickier, correct?
Absolutely. Love it or hate it.
Now we head back over to vault.
That's freshman Maddie Solomon. I'm sure she has a large cheering section here. She's from about just over an hour from Waterloo, Iowa. And that was a great vault for Maddie. She is a super powerful gymnast.
And Ariana Agrapides on vault next for the Hawkeyes. Freshman from Bayville, New Jersey. She was a 9.775 in the opener for the Hawkeyes. Her first time competing as a Hawkeye.
Absolutely. Ari is great at vault. She, too, a very powerful gymnast. Actually a U.S. national champion. Looks like her hand slipped there a little bit on the table. But even given that, actually recovered really well.
And now we transition over to floor. Rachel Benoit, senior for Agrapides.
Very nice. Judges looking for height and distance. Bridget had plenty of both.
Killian, the sophomore from Wheaton, Illinois, she was a 9.8 in the opener. And Steffensmeyer up for the Hawkeyes on the vault. And now throughout the day, we'll keep you posted as scores are posted and try to let you know who you are seeing on your screen. We appear to be having some technical difficulties right now with the video feed, but we ask you to stick with us through any difficulties we might have this afternoon. Steffensmeyer.
Very nice. Allison Tu, a native of Iowa.
Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
Yeah, very close.
The freshman. Not far.
I know she has really impressed Coach Larissa Libby. Had a great weekend last weekend, competing in 3 of the events.
And Killian, 9.725 on the vault. And now Rachel Benoit on floor. Career best for her, 9.675. 3-time Junior Olympic qualifier.
Very nice sky-high double pike for her. First pass. It's so interesting seeing the different types of floor routines.
Well, that's one of the things that I find the most exciting is the different creative pieces that each of them puts into their own routines.
Absolutely. There she is, Lauren Guerin. Number 1 in the country on that event. That was a huge vault. Last week we saw a stick from her. Obviously had extra power today with a little hop. But great execution, great form throughout. Should still score really, really well.
And as you mentioned, Ryan, last week, 9.925 moved into 9th all-time in Hawkeye history. And that completes the run there for the Hawkeyes on the vault. We'll wait for her score. Steffensmeyer, 9.7 for her. As we have Benoit here on floor.
She finished up really well with a nice double tuck. Great landing. Good one for Ball State.
And Benoit, the senior, kicking off her final campaign for Ball State. We'll have a quick exhibition run. Erin Castle on vault.
Looks like they may have pulled her.
Maybe not, yep. It still looks like we are having a few technical difficulties, not only on our end, but on some of the scoring mechanisms today. Some of our judges having a little bit of a hard time with some of the scoring mechanisms. So hopefully we get that cleared up, make things a lot easier for,
absolutely.
for everyone.
2020 and those problems still.
Yeah, I know. You
fixed.
can never get away from it. I think everybody listening's probably had something go wrong with a phone or something here or there, so we all know the feeling.
A nice quick rotation for the Jim Hawks. Vault is always the quickest.
And a run through. We still are waiting on Garin's score. And Olivia Ostendorf, freshman from Ramsey, Minnesota, begins on floor.
She's had to wait quite a while.
As we mentioned, a few delays, but no worries as we'll get it underway.
Very nice double pike. Great landing on that front layout punch to a front Rudy. That's a 1.5 twist. Always fun to see them make eye contact with their teammates in the middle of their routine.
I'm sure it makes it a lot more fun for both of them, teammates and the one in their routine.
Absolutely. One final pass for her. She's going to end with a double tuck. Tad bit short, but really good routine for her.
And Ostendorf, the freshman, first time on the floor for her in her collegiate career. And now we go to the bars. As Air Force on the bars right now.
Little struggle there. She did a really cool, unique, actually, release move. It's called a Delchev. Had a little problem after she caught that. And transitioned down again, another problem. Doing her best to keep it going. It's difficult when you're up there, make a mistake. You can actually choose to get off the event, kind of regroup yourself. She chose not to, obviously. It makes it a little bit difficult. Obviously with stamina. Did well to recover, though.
And the go ahead, Ostendorf 9.550. Nychek, as I mentioned, sophomore, Fort Myers, Florida. She was at the NCAA Regional in Baton Rouge last year as a freshman.
Very nice. Forward tumbling pass to start it off. That was a front double full through to a front tuck. A very respectable athlete, as you mentioned, that NCAA Regional as an individual, a really big deal, especially as an underclassman.
And it came in and made an impact right away for Ball State.
Absolutely. Second pass, that's a back double tuck. Right to her teammates. A forward Rudy to end it. Fantastic routine.
And she definitely showed why she was an individual at that regional event last year. And we will see her competing in the all-around today. So she will be on a lot here for Ball State as we go throughout the evening.
Generally, all these athletes, most of them will actually be training all around in the gym. However, to actually see them compete all 4 events at a competition, that's a little more rare.
I'm guessing it takes its toll on the athletes as they go along.
Absolutely.
Elsadek on floor for Ball State, the sophomore from Venice, Florida. Career best 9.875. And as a freshman, she was a staple piece of their lineup at every event.
Open up with a sky-high double pike. You can tell she's already having a lot of fun with this routine. Second tumbling run, that's a punch layout through to a front full. These athletes are required to go forwards and backwards. Short on that double tuck. Unfortunate for her, the first two passes were great. Now, actually new in the NCAA this year, athletes who dismount or their final tumbling pass is a double tuck or a double flipping skill, it's actually a bonus for them.
Okay.
So really taking that risk, going with those double flipping last passes.
Using that as an extra opportunity to gain some points for the team.
She put a lot of energy into her dance, though. That's always great to see.
And next up on bars, that is Kirkpatrick. Jessica Kirkpatrick.
A fall on actually a pretty difficult skill.
Jessica Kirkpatrick, the junior from Broomfield, Colorado. Career best of 9.85.
She may have to repeat that skill, actually. Athletes, when they fall off an event, they get about 30 seconds. Adjust their grips, get some more chalk, recuperate. Looks like she will have to start over. This skill is a difficult one, like I mentioned. She's going backwards up to that high bar. It's kind of blind. Successfully completed it there. Back to low bar. Super difficult to fall on the first skill and come back. But she did a great job at doing so.
And then Sticks, the landing there at the end, obviously came back with a lot of confidence.
Definitely. Don't want to give anything away if you do suffer a fall. And so did a really good job at actually keeping all of her points.
And after a pretty long wait, we finally got Lauren Garn's score in on the vault, 9.775 to close that out. Olivia Goico, junior from Buford, Georgia. Last year she did an exhibition where she was a 9.9, but her career best a 9.85.
Very nice. As a double tuck, interesting technique. She actually didn't do a back handspring, doing it straight out of a round off. Setting up for her second pass. It's going to be a round off 1.5 punch front layout. Again, a really good landing. Gymnasts are allowed to take steps out of their passes, but they still must show control. Really fun choreography too in this routine. Again, a double flipping pass, and that one a double pike, actually more difficult than her opening pass. To end with that one, not easy.
And a lot of creativity in this one.
Absolutely, that was fun.
Put together a fun routine there was Claudia Goico.
Had to check her pulse at the end, but she looks all right. Fantastic job for Ball State.
And Ball State, that's how they will wrap up floor. And now back over to bars as we have Salamone.
Air Force is a really good variety of skills and release moves.
Anna Salamone, the senior from Bayport, New York.
That's more like it. Good hit for them.
In her career, she's been a 9.95 on the bars. And the program's first ever MPSF champion on bars. Air Force competing with some teams out there on that Mountain Pacific region. And a conference champion.
Good score.
And now an exhibition run on floor for Ball State.
Now exhibitions don't actually count towards the final score. Judges will still give them a score, however, won't go towards the final tally. It actually just allows teams to kind of play with lineups a little bit, get them in front of people.
Now Ryan, break down how the scoring works. How many score, who scores? Break that down for our fans listening at home.
Absolutely. On each event, a team will put up 6 people. All 6 people will go, all will be scored. Now the 5 highest scores are the ones that the team will count towards the final score for that specific event. So they do get to drop 1 score. So in the event that an athlete falls by chance, they can potentially drop that.
Now our scores that have been solidified as our first round score-wise officially done there. Iowa 48.6 on the vault. Ball State on floor 48.2. And Air Force on bars, 46.45. We will step away momentarily. We will come back for our second round of events here just in a... And so this is Carswell right now that we have on the balance beam as Air Force kicked it off. Now, as we mentioned, some things. The weather was not great in Iowa City today, to say the least. We got a nice coating of ice last night, which put a little bit of a wrench in some of the plans for today. So some slight adjustments to the order. Iowa's going to hold off on bars for a little bit, and then we'll get ready to go to them once we have all our judges prepared. As Carswell wraps up her.
Great start for them. Obviously really excited about that.
And so we'll have Ball State will go on vault, Air Force on beam, and the Hawkeyes will wait, and then they will go when we rotate our judges around.
Big Yurchenko full there. The entry into that vault, a lot of very common. Gymnasts will do a round off onto that springboard. That is called the Yurchenko. They'll do a back handspring off onto the table. And what we'll see a lot today of is a full twist before they land.
Heidi Sand up next. And on the vault, Olivia Ostendorf.
Wow.
Mistake. L-stick.
Huge Janko full there.
That was our third athlete on vault. So far scores Hudson 9.750 and Ostendorf 9.70. Nychek will be up next for Ball State on the vault. And as we mentioned, Nychek competing today in the all-around, her career best 9.875. And next up on beam, that'll be Heidi Sand. This is Nychek right now.
Wow. Difficult vault there. That's a Yurchenko tucked 1.5. That vault has a blind landing. What that means is that she's landing forward, can't really see the ground as she is approaching it. Makes it really difficult to land, to stick that.
Now we transition over to beam. Heidi Sand from Air Force. Junior from Union, Kentucky.
Unique series there, 2 back tucks in a row. Beam is so difficult as you're changing environments every single week, different arenas, different lighting. I have never done it myself, so I cannot say how difficult it is, but I'm sure it is.
I'm sure it's hard. First team all Mountain Pacific on the vault, but today on balance beam. First score, Carswell 9.8 on beam, and Nychek scored 9.675 on vault.
Air Force starting off with a really nice routine, like you said, from Carswell, 9.8. That's a big score for
and now
a first routine.
On vault, that's Schweikert.
Huge.
Her career best, 9.875. She was a regional qualifier as well.
That ball was sky high, beautiful form. That was Yurchenko half twist. Again, another blind landing, making it really hard to spot that ground. Just that tiny hop forward, but that's probably the only deduction she's going to incur.
As we mentioned, Solnum, the senior from Verona, Wisconsin, prepares for her run-up. And sticks the landing.
Very nice. That's got to feel good. Again, back from injury, obviously means a lot.
And you can see how excited the team is.
Yeah. It's got to feel good for her. That was a huge vault, too. Great event for them.
Ball State, as you mentioned, very well. 9.775 for a total of 48.775 for Ball State. Very, very close to that 49, like you mentioned.
Definitely.
As we move back to the beam, we'll have and Karina Tolan on the uneven bars as the Hawkeyes will now take to the bars.
Karina's new to the bar lineup this year.
Tolan, the sophomore from Tinley Park, Illinois.
Beautiful release connected to the low bar. Great pirouette at the top. Double tuck to end it. Tiny hop. Good lead-off routine, though, for the Hawkeyes. It was a waiting game for them.
as we still have Tyler Davis on the beam.
Big dismount. Backward double full.
To kick off the college career in front of a home crowd.
Very nice. She too has one of those cool transitions. Starts on the low, goes up to the high. That skill called a Maloney. That is considered a release move, so she goes right into her dismount, relatively short routine. Double tuck, and that is a stick Iowa. What a debut for her. I know she's excited about that.
And on the first routine, Tolan 9.75 to open on bars for the Hawkeyes. And up next on bars, Alex Greenwald for the Hawkeyes. Greenwald, sophomore from Coral Springs, Florida.
Alex is small and mighty. She's got a huge release move at the top of her routine. It's called a Ray. Perfect catch.
9.65 in the opener.
Doing really well right now. She's going to finish it with a double layout. Gets that landing.
And perfect stick there on the landing for Greenwald, as she's the third Hawkeye to go on the bars.
Iowa struggled a little bit on bars last week in their first meet of the season. Already 3-hit routines. They should be pleased with that.
And we check back to Amber Bull on the beam.
So we've got a dismount coming up. Back handspring to a 1.5 twist.
Previously on beam, Tyler Davis, 9.2 for Air Force. Next up for the Hawkeyes on bars, that's going to be Mackenzie Vance, sophomore from Buda, Texas, and comes from a family of athletes.
Mackenzie is a taller athlete, and when you're tall and swing bars, the lines look beautiful. Huge release there. Her right hand looked to slip off the bar.
And this is where that reset comes.
Absolutely. We'll see if she redoes that release move. It may be questionable. Usually when the athlete touches the bar, which it looked like she did have a pretty firm grasp on it. Usually they don't have to repeat it. Doesn't look like she's going to repeat it. So she'll go straight into her transition down to the low bar. A bail right to a good handstand. Good job on that full pirouette. Connects it to a double tuck. Super difficult, like I mentioned before, to come back after a fall.
In the opener, 8.875 for Vance. But showed resilience there. And now up on the beam. That'll be Cameo Stapleton, the sophomore from Norman, Oklahoma.
Nice flight series there. Back handspring layout, step out.
The beam was a late addition last year for her. She competed in every meet on the floor. But late in the year, joined the beam lineup.
Fortunately, a fall there on that freestanding layout. Beam a little bit different. They only have 10 seconds actually to get back up on the event.
And up next for the Hawkeyes, that's Claire Kaji. The all Big Ten performer for the Hawkeyes. We'll see her next on bars.
Finishing it with a gainer dismount there, tiny hop. Kaji really great at this event. Good job there. A little close on that release move. That was a front Jaeger. Good transition down. It's called a pack salto. She's going to be dismounting with a double layout. Very nice.
And the senior from Vancouver, Canada.
Great way to come back after a missed routine. That's got to feel good. Claire had a little bit of a mess up last week as well. Uncharacteristic for her, but that looks more like it.
We'll definitely see it last week, as you mentioned, 8.25. We'll definitely see a score higher than that here this evening. And Greenwald, 9.875. Vance, 8.875. And on beam, Bowl, 8.975. And Steffensmeyer, the freshman from Cedar Rapids, 9.775 a week ago. Three-time JO qualifier.
As I mentioned before, has really impressed the staff. Has made her way into a few lineups. Had a beautiful release move at the top of her routine. A Jaeger. Solid so far. Double tuck with the stick, Iowa. Huge routine for her. 2 for 2 this season on that event. That means Iowa will be able to drop that low score.
That will be good for the Hawkeyes. That 8 will be able to be dropped. We'll wait to see the scores.
Great recovery from last week.
9.775 for Kaji.
Great job for them. Again, they struggled last week on the bars, so.
And as we mentioned on beam, this is Deja Stevenson for Air Force, the sophomore from Atlanta. She's been a 9.85 in her career. And Stevenson, one that is very strong on vault, bars, and beam. Very versatile.
Good finish there. Air Force going to be looking forward to going to floor.
Steffensmeyer, 9.8. And now a few exhibition run-throughs. Bridget Killian on for the Hawkeyes. We will get you Stevenson's score.
Bridget starting off really well with that Jaeger. She has an upgraded dismount from last year. It'll be a full twisting, double back, sky high. And just a small step on that landing. Good job for Bridget. She'll be looking to try and get into that bar lineup eventually. Really good rotation for the Gym Hawks.
And as we mentioned, the Hawkeyes, their score 49.075, hitting that sweet spot.
Absolutely.
On the bars. Exactly what they were looking for. We just wait for Stevenson's score before we prepare to move on to rotation number 3 on the vault. Ball State, I know it's been a while, but 48.775. Iowa sitting 97.675. Ball State 97.225. And Air Force's score still unofficial. And now their score 93.05.
Iowa should feel really good heading into Beam.
Hawkeyes with the lead over Ball State as they head toward Beam. Stevenson 8.725. We will step away for a moment from Carver Hawkeye Arena, and we'll be right back in a moment on BTN Plus. Cincinnati, Ohio on floor. Career best of 9.7.
Air Force wanted to turn things around after a little bit of a rough beam rotation.
If there's any spot to turn it around, floor might be that place.
Absolutely. Angry gymnastics is a thing. And oftentimes actually kind of helps.
We'll see that come out in the routines.
Great 2 first tumbling runs. Nice leap series there.
I'm sure Brock's excited to be in the lineup today. Was limited in competition over her freshman season, but now leading off on floor here in the season opener for Air Force.
Great routine. Ended it with a Rudy connected to a jump. Not allowing the judges to take a deduction there.
On bars now for Ball State. We will see Marissa Nychuk. And on beam for the Hawkeyes, Allie Gilchrist.
Allie from Des Moines, Iowa. A lot of Iowa natives on this Jimhawk team. Solid series there. Allie is calm, she's cool, and she's collected on this event.
Gilchrist 9.75 in the season opener. The sophomore for the Hawkeyes.
Side aerial there. Looking super confident, as she usually does. One of the most consistent athletes I've ever witnessed, especially on this event.
And for Brock on floor, 9.725. Nychek on bars, 9.75. And Gilchrist will wrap up on the beam.
Huge first routine for Iowa. It's exactly how they want to open up.
And Air Force now on floor. This is Cameo Stapleton, the sophomore from Norman, Oklahoma.
Double pike first pass. Looks like she took a step out of bounds. That out of bounds is going to cost her 1/10. If 2 feet go out, upwards of 2/10. Second tumbling run, a whip half, punch front full, a little low to the ground.
And while we have Stapleton, we prepare for Tedder. Megan Tedder, the freshman from Ohio, on bars. And Danny Castillo on beam for the Hawkeyes.
Final tumbling run here, double tuck. Better landing than her first 2 passes.
Megan Tedder. A little bit of a stumble there on the dismount. And now Danny Castillo.
Funny enough, Danny has not taken a college class yet. She actually joined the team late. Graduated high school in December. Joined the team right after the holiday.
Coming up to Iowa from Miami, Florida.
And right into lineups, as you see. Great series there that she just completed.
Gilchrist score 9.775.
A little low, in my opinion. I did not see much to take away.
And Castillo in her first outing, 9.45.
Great job for Danny. Back 1.5. Small hop on that landing, but a hit routine.
On floor, Brooke Bruder for Air Force. And Arden Hudson, the junior, on bars for Ball State.
See what Brooke opens up with. She's going to do a connection pass. Very nice. Front tuck, step out through to a double tuck. Great landing. connection pass there as well. Front layout through to a front full. Unique in that she has 2 tumbling passes as opposed to 3.
Next up on the beam for the Hawkeyes, that's Bridget Killian. Sophomore from Wheaton, Illinois.
Just completed a solid series, followed by a solid front tuck.
Previously, Castillo 9.7. And on the floor for Air Force, 9.45 for Stapleton.
Bridget really attacks this event. Finishes with a back double full with a stick, going out in style. Jim Hawks 3 for 3. Very clean, solid routine so far.
Killian was a 9.8 to open the year. And now up on the beam, Mackenzie Vance for the Hawkeyes. Sophomore. 9.65 in the opener.
Mackenzie obviously looking for redemption from her bar routine. Good series. She was a little off, adjusted really well though. There too, a lot of athletes might just jump off, but Coach Jennifer Green really insists that they fight.
And I'm sure that's going to hold on to some points when they fight to stay on the beam.
Most definitely, yeah. Gearing up for her dismount here. She's going to do a connection. A side aerial through to a back tuck full. Just a few slight wobbles, but again, no fall.
Previously on beam, Killian at 9.75.
Doing really well so far. Giant full pirouette. Into a double tuck dismount. Little lack of control on the dismount, but again, following a fall is difficult. Did really well.
Previous scores for them, 8.95 for McDonald, 9.725 for Hudson, and 9.225 for Tedder. As that wraps up the bars for Ball State, Kaji getting ready on beam, the 5th to go for the Hawkeyes. She's the all Big Ten competitor here for Iowa. Second team all Big Ten in 17. Spent most of 2018 out with an injury and came back with a vengeance. First team all Big Ten last year. So far this year, 9.65 on beam.
Love watching Claire in this event. So confident, she owns it. Right up until she salutes for her routine, she's dancing, making eye contact with her teammates, kind of taking her mind off. That's the way she kind of does it. Here's her first series. Back handspring layout, step out. Solid. Side aerial. No hesitation at all.
Vance, 9.475 on the beam.
So far, not much that the judges can take from this routine from Claire. Gainer dismount off the end, stuck landing. Might be their highest score yet.
And an excited group of Jim Hawks after that routine by Claire Kaji. As we transition over to the floor, this is Natalie Meyer, the sophomore from Lakeville, Minnesota. She was a 9.75 as her career best at Air Force. Part of their foundation on floor.
Big final breath before her final tumbling run. It's going to be a tuck double back. Tad bit short on rotation.
And now the last one up for the Hawkeyes on beam, Lauren Guerin.
Lauren's great at this event. Her dismount. Very rare in collegiate gymnastics. Good job at recovering from that. Little wobble there on her flight series.
Guerin opened with a 9.85.
Yeah, last weekend in their opener in Florida, it was a huge week for Lauren.
3 fantastic performances for her.
So here it is. It's going to be a tuck double back. Beautiful. Slight hop. But that is big time gymnastics right there.
And a 9.8 for Kaji before her. And so now we'll see what kind of score Guerin gets as the Hawkeyes close out on the balance beam.
Another great rotation for them, though. Not having to count a low score. All hit routines.
And now Anna Salamone, the senior from Bayport, New York, on floor for Air Force. One of their last 2 on floor.
Jones with a nice front double full.
Previous scores for Air Force, 9.525 for Bruder. Meyer a 9.475. As Anna Salamone closes out there on floor, it'll just be Tyler Davis remaining for Air Force to finish off their floor routine for the evening. Ball State wrapped up on bars, 48.025 for them, as Grace Evans closed it out with a 9.7, and the Hawkeyes on beam, 48.70. As Lauren Guerin, 9.675. Right now, the Hawkeyes, through 3 rotations, lead 146.375 over Ball State, 145.650. And one final routine to go on the floor. Tyler Davis for Air Force, the Mountain Pacific champion, on the floor exercise with a career best of 9.95. A very good score for Tyler Davis, the junior from Rolette, Texas.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch this. Double pike to start. Great control on the landing. Having fun, making eye contact with her teammates.
Tyler Davis with a lot of success and experience. First ever USA Gymnastics College champion for Air Force. Did that as a freshman.
The team hyping her up as she goes into her last homing pass. A tuck double back. Great way to end it for Air Force.
And we'll wait for those scores to come in there for Tyler Davis. Once we get those, we will prepare for the final rotation. Exciting. That's the nice thing. The home team gets to put on a show in front of the home crowd with floor exercise as their final routine of the day. And we open up Alex Greenwald for the Hawkeyes.
She starts with an E tumbling pass. That is a full twisting double back. Great landing. Now skills in gymnastics are given values, with an E pass kind of being something that a lot of the gymnasts strive for. The Gym Hawks have multiple E passes actually that we'll see today.
Greenwald was a 9.8 in the season opener. Now, one nice thing about college gymnastics is the NCAA gives you a little bit more leeway and allows you to have some fun in these floor exercises, get a little bit more creative.
Definitely.
And they take full advantage of that, as we've seen throughout the course of the day.
Ends with a super difficult 2.5 twist, connected to a punch front. She's only going to do 2 passes. Both of them were solid. And there you have it. First routine done.
And a very exciting first routine for Alex Greenwald. Now Air Force on vault.
See a Tukterchenko full there. Slight hop to the side.
We already had Tyler Davis go 9.4 for Davis. That was Bordes. And Ball State Ostendorf preparing for her routine on beam. 9.85 there for Alex Greenwald.
Big score to start.
Next up, Allie Gilchrist.
Allie was in floor lineup all season last year.
9.425 in the opener compared to her career best of 9.85.
Sheet 2 opening with a E pass. That is a front double full. Into her second tumbling run. It's a 1.5 punch front. A little short. So will not want to give anything away on this last pass. It's going to be a forward Rudy. That's a 1.5 twist. Just a slight hiccup in that second tumbling pass.
Nychek on beam for Ball State, 9.375. Ostendorf just went on beam as we get ready for Volpe. And we'll wait for Gilchrist's score to come back here on floor. Air Force on the vault. Davis, 9.40. Bardace, 9.45. Bull, 9.575. And that was Heidi Sand. Ariana Egrapides next up for the Jimhawks. Freshman from Bayville, New Jersey. 9.75 on floor in the opener. Vault her specialty, but still very strong here on the floor. Meanwhile, we have Ball State on the beam.
There just did a combination pass for her to open up her routine. Front through to a double pike. Going right into her second tumbling run, a back 1.5 punch pike. It's always exciting coming in to collegiate gymnastics. New floor routine, that means. With this one being new for Aerie. Might I also mention that head coach Larissa Libby also choreographs every single floor routine.
And for Egrapides, it's the second time here on floor as a collegiate. Coming from Premier Gymnastics, competed on the national stage. This is nothing new to her. A very experienced gymnast.
Into her final tumbling run. A double tuck. Great routine for Aerie. Again, when you're winded at the end of those routines, ending with a double flipping skill is difficult to do. They're taking that risk.
Quick look at some of the other scores. Gilchrist's score, 9.65 for the Hawkeyes.
Still a relatively good score for her.
Air Force, final run through on vault. Davis was 9.4. Bardace, 9.45. 9.575 for Bull Sand, 9.675. And Stevenson, 9.625. And on beam so far, Nychek was a 9.375. And Ostendorf, 9.675. Up next for the Hawks on floor, that's going to be Bridget Killian. Killian, the sophomore from Wheaton, Illinois. She was a 9.725 in the opener.
This floor routine is really intense. She opens with a big triple full. Coming up right here. Wonderful. Nice job on that second run. Double tuck to end it. Easily controlled on that.
Nice. All the scores are in now for Air Force on vault. Salamone 9.075, 47.725 as Air Force has completed their day. Ball State still to wrap up on beam. And our fourth performer, Hawkeye, is the junior from Boone, Iowa. 9.725 in the opener, but she's been a 9.9 before.
This is Erin's first event of the night, so a lot of waiting around for her.
Frequently on this floor exercise. Her main event.
Nice round off. Double pike. A really bubbly routine for her. She's got a bubbly personality. Forward 1.5 twist. Gearing up for her final tumbling run. It's going to be a round off 1.5. Punch layout. Looks easy. Another hit for them.
And Erin Castle wraps up. We'll have one to go here on the floor exercise for the Hawkeyes. Lauren Garin. She's also been a 9.9. Now they've pulled her score out. Erin Castle 9.75. As they have removed Bridget Killian's score. We'll wait and see what they enter here. I'm sure that could be a shocker, though, to see a score like that pop up and go, oh my. Just the jolt.
Lauren, super powerful on floor. And Iowa's doing super well so far on the floor exercise. Wanted to drop that 9.65 though from Gilchrist. I'm sure Lauren will have no issues doing so and scoring high. This is relatively new floor routine for her. She actually got it right before NCAA Regionals last season, so her first time in Carver Hawkeye Arena doing this floor routine. And a perfect sky-high full twisting double back for her to start off.
And the sophomore from Austin, Texas, engaging her teammates. And Bree Solnum will dismount off the beam. That'll wrap up the day for Ball State. We'll wait for those scores.
Lauren, another gymnast who only does 2 tumbling runs. So here she is about to get ready for her second and final pass. It's going to be a front through to a tuck double back. Great job. That's the way to close it out for them.
And a strong performance to close the day for the Hawkeyes. Nearly all of the scores are in. The Hawkeyes, a solid lead with one score remaining. We'll wait for those last scores to come in, and we will give you the final scores here from Carver Hawkeye Arena. Ryan, as you reflect back on the entire competition this evening, what are some of your takeaways? What did you see from the Hawkeyes as they come out on top here?
Absolutely. Well, first starting off with Air Force and Ball State. I mean, the first season.
9.9 for Garn.
9.9. That's huge for them. But Air Force and Ball State, just a way to start for them. So obviously good luck to them for the rest of the season. Iowa Hawkeyes, first meet at home. It was a good one. Not having to count a single fall. Last weekend they did, and so obviously huge improvement for them. Big scores, cracked 49 on 2 of the events. That's huge for them. Maddie Solomon, freshman, in an exhibition right now, actually, for the Jim Hawks. But yeah, super good day for Iowa. And no doubt going to be scoring higher than they did last weekend.
And now once we get the final scores in, we do have Iowa's final score. It's 195.55. And that is higher than they were a year ago on Pink Night. So a good performance for the Hawkeyes this evening in their home opener.
Massive improvement, yeah, from last week. That's more like the Iowa Jim Hawks I know.
And steps in the right direction for the Hawkeyes as the season is still very young at this point, but a 195 at this stage is the direction they want to be progressing in. And we'll just wait for that final score for Ball State for Bree Solman. And 9.45, final score for Ball State, 192.775. And that's a wrap here in Iowa City on BTN+. For Ryan Ruckdaschel, I'm Ben Collin. This has been Gymnastics on BTN+.